Now, I've never been the one to promote illegal actions, but I know y'all trying to steal passwords, credit cards, debit cards to go see the new Gumball series. So I'm gonna let y'all know what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and y'all stay tuned because these are just my thoughts and ideas, and y'all can still go check it out for yourselves to see what y'all like and don't like about it. So the first point I want to go over based off these first 10 episodes is the visuals. The visuals through the first 10 episodes, you can definitely tell they've upped the budget and they've upped the creativity in terms of the background visuals, the facial expressions of the characters. They seem more alive. And I know that's kind of a controversial topic. Some people don't like the exaggerated faces and whatnot because SpongeBob does this now in its modern form. People, they have mixed opinions about it. I'm about the same way. When it's overused, it becomes forced. With the new series, I think of it as its own thing while also being true to some of the things from the past seasons of the Amazing World of Gumball. The visuals, they look great. I just think sometimes they can be a little forced, especially with the gross out. I'm not a big fan of the gross out that I've been seeing over the first 10 episodes, but I'm sure that it'll get better. Well, at least I hope so, with the forcing of it a bit. That's my thoughts on the visual. Let's move on to the next category. So I just covered the visual aspect of it, how it looks, the aesthetics. So let's go over the dynamics. So I do like the fact that they are giving some characters different dynamics with the main characters, such as Gumball and Miss Simeon, along with Gumball and Mr. Brown. I do like the fact that they are including some of those characters that don't get as much time to shine. I like the fact that they're giving those characters their own episodes. They can do a little bit more with the dynamics, but I do like the fact that they are giving those characters their respect. Third, this is a big one, the comedy of Gumball, because Gumball isn't Gumball without the meta joke. So I feel like the comedy through the first 10 episodes, it does leave a lot to be desired because they make a lot of meta jokes and references that they are very real and they are very applicable to what happens every day. But sometimes I do feel like they are trying to be too meta and they're kind of missing the mark in terms of jokes. And don't even get me started on the butt episode. It was horrible and it just wasn't fun. Imagine a whole episode just about butts. That's literally what it was. But I do like the fact that Mr. Brown got his own episode, but I do wish it was a better episode. So in terms of the comedy, I wasn't really laughing that much throughout the 10 episodes. Hopefully that changes throughout the season, but in terms of comedy, lackluster at best. Also, another thing I noticed that there were a good number of adult jokes that may fly over the head of younger viewers. So just keep that in mind when thinking about the comedy of the show. And you can tell some of the changes voice-wise. Yeah, you can definitely tell a difference, especially with Darwin. Also, I'll hear sometimes where Gumball will say phrases such as "not gonna lie" or "slay," and I just kind of feel like that's corny. I don't know. That's just me though. Also, some of the stuff I didn't mention before, I do like how most of these episodes, or at least a good portion of these episodes, have like a happy ending. Gumball it usually ends on like a weird note each episode, but I do like that these episodes have a happy end. That's something I do like about it, but also sometimes I feel like the happy moments and stuff are a bit watered down. They feel sappy. Some of these Gumball episodes have been a bit predictable. You can definitely tell what's gonna happen next in some of them, and that wasn't really true to the old Gumball. That's why I say take this with a grain of salt. These are just the first 10 episodes of a new series, just about. Yeah, take this with a grain of salt. My review, my comments, just take it with a grain of salt. Go watch it for yourself and formulate your own ideas and thoughts on the first 10 or the entire season of The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball. The 2 episodes that I found most enjoyable and 2 episodes that I wasn't a big fan of over the 10 episodes that I did watch of the new Gumball seasons. So the first episode that I didn't like that much was The Distance. And I know at its root it doesn't seem like that, but throughout the episode, Gumball and Darwin, it's like they're dating, but at the same time, Gumball and Darwin, they're like adoptive brothers, and they're best friends too at the same time as being adopted brothers, and dating is very weird. And I don't have a problem with them experimenting with romance in Gumball, but it's very forced when you're trying to do that with people that are supposed to be brothers and best friends. That was very off-putting to me. The whole concept was just jarring, and it shouldn't be anywhere near a kid's show, and I didn't really particularly like that. So The Distance wasn't the best episode to me. The worst episode, and I think this will probably be one of the worst episodes of the season, The Butts. And I mentioned this earlier. Gumball, he goes to Mr. Brown to help him with his problem with his butt because he wasn't happy with the way it looked. And it's a good message behind it. Basically, love yourself. Kind of cliche though, but yeah, it was just disgusting talking about somebody's butt the entire runtime. That's just, it's not good. And the two episodes that I enjoyed, honestly, this was tough because they all follow the same formula of there being dynamics. The dynamic episodes are great this season. You have the theme where Richard tries to remember something Nicole told him, but he just can't seem to remember, and he has to eat food to get his memory back. And in the end, Nicole just wanted to spend time with him away from everybody else. It was good. The ending was great. The episode, it was pretty solid throughout. Yeah, I definitely liked that episode. Another one we have is the traffic. Daisyland is about to close down because basically it's falling apart, and the water center, they rush to go there, but they get stuck in traffic for most of the episode. They go on their journey of their own, and Anais actually enjoyed that more than she would ever enjoy going to Daisyland, and they still made it at the end. I did like that dynamic of her respecting her family and taking appreciation to her family for trying their best to make her happy. I could go on. I mean, I did say only two, but I'm giving honorable mention to the astrological. The astrological is the Zodiac episode. Mr. Small, he says these zodiacs, or star formations, they determine everybody's life essentially and who they're gonna date. Gumball and Penny, they're not believing it. Well, Penny for sure isn't believing it, and Gumball, he's kind of on the verge of believing it and not believing it. He does all this stuff to make sure Penny won't date Tobias. It's really sweet of him to try his best to impress Penny even though she already has his full love. Yeah, I just found that a really sweet episode. I would like them to continue making those dynamic episodes because there are a pretty good handful of dynamic episodes, excluding the butts that suck. Those were my initial thoughts on the first 10 episodes of the new Gumball series, but let me know what you think about it. Live like kings and queens, and catch you next upload.